Ethan Klein was able to get an interview with iDubbbz's ex-boxing coach, Michael, who helped him through Creator Clash 1 and Creator Clash 2. And Michael decided to spill all the beans on Anisa and her husband on H3's podcast. He started leaking all sorts of things, such as that Anisa would decide when Ian was hungry and force him to leave situations, that they both already knew they were 500k in the hole 1 month before Creator Clash 2, and even that Anisa had a crush on one of iDubbbz's sparring buddies. There were more serious talks and accusations as well, such as Michael's wife claiming that they were good friends with Ian and Anisa, and that Michael's wife herself was a victim of child marriage at the age of 12. But when she tried to reach out to Ian and Anisa to support an upcoming bill to ban child marriage, she was ghosted and left on read. Welcome to the internet versus iDubbbz's boxing coach. It starts when Yeet tweets out, iDubbbz panic texted his former coach before he called into the H3 expose show today, attaching this picture of an alleged text message from Ian where he says, "Hey Michael, not sure if this is a clickbait or not, but saw your face on the H3 podcast thumbnail. Let me know if it's real and if you want to talk. I'm hoping it's just some clickbait because I'd be happy to talk if you had unresolved feelings about Anisa." Then people start posting clips of the interview, like Augier FC, who tweets out, iDubbbz bros, it's over, attaching this clip.
This next question's very salacious, so it's totally up to you. You can pretend like you don't even know what I'm talking about if you want. But what I've heard is that she was hitting on one of his sparring partners and was obsessed with him and gave him a VIP pass to the event.
A lot of his sparring partners got the passes, but she definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them, because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment. And then even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it. And then
I want to say that I want to say that before. So Anisa never gave shout outs to Michael training Ian at all, but she put out the first video of Ian like getting rocked in sparring when Ian was sparring with her crush. Yeah. It was
our friend Gabe.
She shared it. Yeah, and we have a clip too. You guys can share.
I would call him Gorgeous Gabe.
Super Nintendo replies, Anisa's husband has a humiliation fetish. Darren Martin says, content cuck. Flarn TV says, what happens to iDubbbz if him and Anisa split? He would be heartbroken with nothing to lose at that point. Could get ugly. Big E replies, and this is why you don't piss people off who know intimate details about your life. iDubbbz and Anisa are rocking in the fetal position right now. Over on the H3 subreddit, OMarkAb02 posts Ethan's smile at the end. Man realized he struck so much gold he is unable to speak, attaching this clip.
But then what happened afterwards was horrible, because then we went back to the hotel and then they were eating at Dennys and they said, we need to have a meeting. So I have to go to Dennys. And they pretty much then talked about how they were going to have to fire me because I reminded Ian of his father when his father would yell at him as a kid. And so I had to relearn how to talk to him. And at the time, I didn't even mind, because I'm like, as a coach, I need to learn how to talk to different fighters anyways. Like, communication is the most important thing. One of the most important things as a coach. So I was trying to turn it into a positive, but...
Gross Butt replies, it had to be at a Dennys also. And Mono Didi says, can't make this shit up. Yeet also posts this same clip with the caption, iDubbbz's former coach Mike leaks insane reason why he was fired. And Nuxtaku replies, bro, holy shit, this is a new level of pathetic. Toby Turner says, so his dad wasn't nice, and he reminded him of his dad. That's normal. People usually don't give reasons other than it didn't work out, sorry. Mistor replies, yeah, bro should not be online for a career. Ron Mexico says, oh god, this Ian cuckery gets worse. Yeet tweets out this clip with the caption, Mike, a former iDubbbz coach, leaks that Anisa was adamant about having certain people at their event. Also talks lack of promotion, attaching this clip.
Because she would always talk about a certain group of people. It was like somebody named Pokimane and all these other people. And she would always talk about how she wants like them to be there and she wants to be a part of their group.
Sorry. Knowing that detail, it breaks my heart that she had to settle for denims.
The only people I really know in the YouTube world is you guys, because you guys were so nice to us. Like, we got more clout from being on your show than we ever did from working with Ian, because he would never show any of the work we did. Yeah, and then everybody else, it drove me crazy. Like, AB would shout out his coach, Wale. Lucky Boy, yeah, and then
AB
Harley
was
had a great coach.
AB was all about it, man.
Flaccid Turkey Sausage replies, it was never about charity. It was always a ploy for Anisa to establish industry connections in the streamer world. And El Cochino says, cheated on her then boyfriend for iDubbbz because she saw him as her way to the top. Always saw iDubbbz as nothing but a stepping stone to get to where she wanted to be among her peers. Eid also tweets this clip out with the caption, Coach Mike reveals that Anisa talked shit about Ethan and Hila during Creator Clash 1. Apparently, she had a habit of talking smack on many people. Leaks story about Ian stinking up the room. Also questions Anisa's commitment to her religion.
Yeah, and
Like, I didn't
Hold
feel
on,
like it was
guys.
my
I gotta
place.
sit on that for a sec. He stunk up the gym so bad you had to move him away from people.
yes.
Okay.
Pretty
Okay.
good.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just sit with that.
0.5 hotter, as if like he fucking his breath didn't stink all the time.
I heard that Anisa was talking shit about me and us even before Creator Clash 1.
She had said that she didn't like associating with you guys for some reason, but then like you had been doing better or something, so they were happy to go on your show. It was it was vague, but because she would talk, she would kind of talk poorly about a lot of different people, so it was easy to just lose track of it. But yeah, she definitely had mentioned like something about you and Hila, and like, or maybe it was just you, but somebody had done something that had offended her at one point.
I'm
so
sure.
She thought, yeah, so she felt like you guys weren't like good people or something. But then once you could do their show, but she loved AB and Lena. She always loved them. Yeah.
She would. So here's
There
the
you
thing.
go. Who doesn't love AB and Lena? To be
That's a
fair.
good question.
To be
Sean.
fair, right?
He would always, because she would be like, they're Muslim and I'm Muslim.
Yeah, it's.
And I was like,
yeah.
everything you do is haram.
Atuka replies, mark my words, that woman is going to ruin his life, quoting Sam Hyde. B. Jones says, I don't know how the hell Ian and Anisa recover from this. And Whitney replies, their supporters will ignore anything. It's going to be really interesting to see how Ian and Anisa try to twist this in their favor though. Howling Mutant replies, God, how bad does he smell? At first it sounded like he just had some body odor, but now it's like he's some kind of insane homeless person. Is it because he shits himself? Henry says, I'm watching it right now. This is such a brutal destruction of their fake social media characters and actually revealing their true private beings. I thought calling him a cuck was a joke, but I'm starting to think that he actually enjoys domination and humiliation by her. Then Mad posts cliff notes of the H3 podcast with Ian's boxing coach and his wife, summarizing the entire interview so you don't have to watch the multiple hours, going over every single thing that they revealed about Ian and Anisa in this podcast. Here he credits lapses of the Bepsis, and he starts by saying, Ian hardly ever actually trained and he doesn't like boxing. He took 6 straight months off of training to do the Dax Flame documentary. Anisa butted into Ian's training regime and demanded to be trained as much as Ian was. Ian agreed and said, she trains before I train. Michael didn't charge them extra for training Anisa because he thought it was for charity. Anisa would bring in retarded Twitter drama and spurg out about it at the gym. She talked about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and that she wants Ian to be her Will Smith. She threw a fit about the AI deepfake scandal with Cutie Cinderella, blamed AB the contestant for it, and said she'd have to have a talk with him. Michael was out of the loop about the financials and wasting money that should have gone to charity. He also didn't know there was going to be a huge gala after CC2 and only found out a week in advance by being copied in an email. They weren't prepared to dress nice and they were concerned there wouldn't be enough accommodations for all teammates. When they told Anisa this, she was pissed off and responded with, you don't have to come. Michael's girlfriend thinks the Jomas specifically kept them in the dark because they would have asked about the expenses of the gala and how that impacts charity. Creator Clash 2 was $500K in the hole before it even started. 10 weeks before CC1, Anisa demanded to buy a house now, so she forced Ian to skip training to focus on the purchase. This was the house in Seattle. iDubbbz had to sell his house in San Diego to fund it. Ian would blow off cardio training because he was too lazy and didn't think it was important, and then he would lie about it to his trainer. Mike says this cost Ian his fight against Dr. Mike, and the 6-month break from training is probably why Ian lost his CC2 fight against Alex. Michael told Ian semi-jokingly, my brand is at stake, regarding the quality of Ian's training and concerns about Ian's performance. Ian told Anisa this and she stormed into the gym the next day and yelled at Michael about how it's actually their brand that's at stake. Ethan brings up that the gala most likely took place after CC1. Ian said he felt abandoned when the participants left to go home and he had no one to process his trauma with, and Anisa really wanted to be the person giving out awards at an award show. Ian never put any effort into actually delivering any of the content and work done with Michael and his girlfriend. They were in charge of the CC documentary and he unilaterally scrapped the project after it was done. Same thing he did with Sam Hyde, until Sam Hyde released his docu first. Ian paid to fly in Froggy Tonic and a whole film crew to salvage the Creator Clash documentary, painstakingly made by Kate and Michael, which never got released, without telling them about it. Ian texted Michael's girlfriend that she shouldn't post or share any of the vids she filmed at the event with the other contestants without his and Anisa's permission. Anisa's excuse was that, quote, Ian is a really private guy. He doesn't want people to see this part of his life, end quote. A promoter named Mike had previously worked with Ian, but left to work with Jake Paul instead, and was responsible for hosting the Jake Paul boxing event at the same time as Creator Clash. Ian's fans would flood Michael's YouTube comments and complain about him training Ian wrong. Michael and his girlfriend invited the Jomas to their house for Thanksgiving to meet their kids, etc., while the Jomas continued to give them the cold shoulder. Michael's girlfriend, I don't want to say their enemy's name, Sam, but he's right. Ethan agrees that Sam is indeed right. Ian talked shit on a podcast about Michael and said he had toxic masculine qualities. Ian and Anisa were training at the gym and not meant to spar that day. A local coach at the gym said to someone he doesn't believe women should fight. Anisa overheard and got so mad she forced Ian to spar that day so she could watch him fight. He was unprepared and didn't even have the right gear at hand, and she didn't care. She actually controls him like that. Confirmed. Michael was telling Ian, hey, what are you doing, man? Throw a punch, in the corner in the ring during his fight. Ian later complained on a podcast about Michael being mean and yelling at him. Michael was told by the Jomas to go to a Dennys with them for a meeting, where they told him they might have to fire him because he reminds Ian too much of his dad and it makes him upset. Anisa has a weird fixation on eating at Dennys because she used to work at one. Michael was originally hired to train Ian to fight Rice Gum, who had texted Anisa to tell Ian to fight him. Ethan brings up how Ian hyped up Anisa's boxing skills, even though she never fought, and asks Michael to corroborate. Michael says Anisa is better at sports than Ian, but kept advancing and approaching her opponent during sparring for no reason. Anisa suddenly stopped once mid-session and started complaining of a concussion, and the next day went to her doctor complaining about a headache. Ian reassured Michael and his girlfriend that she is just a hypochondriac. Michael witnessed Anisa's story evolve in real time from one sudden concussion to 11 minors and 2 majors, and agrees she is a liar. Michael says the best week of training was when Anisa fucked off to her parents in Canada. Ian invited sparring partners. After training, Ian was asked how he'd gained all the weight. Before due credit could be given to Michael for his training, Anisa butted in and said it was thanks to her having a background in kinesiology. Michael and his girlfriend both think Anisa is abusive, and Ian genuinely enjoys being abused. At the first event, Michael personally trained multiple fighters. At CT2, he focused on Ian and made sure to find dedicated coaches for other fighters instead. Michael was responsible for training Eric from Internet Comment Etiquette. Eric had never fought, and they took training less seriously and focused on having a good time, and were caught off guard because Michael had never been informed that Eric's opponent, DJ, had been a serious MMA fighter before then. Michael says these unfair matchups were common. One coach ghosted his fighter when he found out that Creator Clash was a real event and not a joke. Michael notes that Ian had specifically bad breath at one point, and when asked about it, Ian blamed strep throat for giving him tonsil stones, which caused smelly breath. PSA, tonsil stones are caused by not brushing your teeth. Anisa later sent Michael a pic of Ian's mouth to somehow convince him that Ian did have strep throat. Before the weigh-in and last training, Ian would need to gain a few pounds to get to 188. Michael suggested he drink a few Gatorades, but instead, Anisa force-fed Ian a bunch of junk food the day before. It was so bad Ian struggled to train without throwing up. Michael's girlfriend confirms Ian stinks. He wouldn't shower between training sessions. It got so bad, Michael had to take him aside at the gym because it was bothering the other boxers and staff. Anisa would constantly talk shit about various people online, including Ethan and Hila, before she and Ian appeared on the H3 podcast. Anisa complains a lot about how America sucks and white Christian Americans are terrible people while glazing Muslims, even IRL. When asked what kind of people were being invited to Creator Clash as guests, Anisa responded with communists and S-workers. Harley is on the call and blames Froggy Tonic for ruining Creator Clash because he couldn't shut his mouth. Anisa didn't even know under whose promoter's license CC2 was going to be hosted under until a few weeks before the event. She just relied on Michael to reach out to his contacts in Florida and set it up. When out with company, Anisa would walk up to Ian and say, "You're hungry," or "You're tired," when she decided she wanted to leave to convince him to leave. Michael says Ian is the softest and most mentally fragile guy he's ever trained. His girlfriend says they were exhausted after every Creator Clash because they essentially had to provide therapy to Ian and Anisa each session. One time while visiting a gym, Anisa demanded to put on her own music and play to some indie rock emo shit totally unsuitable for a gym. A local trainer told her he's switching it back. She got really mad, ran to her car, and cried. The next day she went up to Kate and told her she can't believe how she can be dating Michael when he's so insensitive. Kate told Anisa that Michael's mom is half Jewish. After that, Anisa began acting weird and extra cold toward Michael. 3 days before CC1, Anisa had such bad anorexia she was going to die and tried to guilt trip iDubbbz's by telling him she couldn't go to the hospital because she'd miss his his flight. One time when hanging out with Ethan, Anisa suddenly blurted out, "I'm getting fake boobs." Later, Anisa talked to Kate about her fake tits and said her doctor was concerned about them being too big and that she might have to take them out again. Anisa really loves bothering anyone currently around her with her BPD transformation, it seems. Ian took a whole month off training when Anisa was getting her fake tits removed because she couldn't come to the gym with him. Ian and Anisa are both obsessed with reading Twitter comments and hate comments together. During the Froggy Fresh drama, Kate was stuck with them in one room as they were reading the reactions, and she can't believe how brain-rotted they are. Harley says he didn't believe Froggy had really been kicked because of his involvement with Sam Hyde until Ian confirmed it in his video. He thought it was purely because of the Twitter bans with Anisa's mom. Anisa was panicking, or pretending to, that Sam Hyde was going to infiltrate CC2 and kill her. Anisa vocally hates Graham Stephen because when Ian went on his podcast, only Ian was invited, he didn't have a chair ready for her, and so she had to sit farther away and wasn't in frame. Kate says that Anisa just casually co-ops Ian's invitations to podcasts and acts like she's the one who was invited and takes it entirely for granted. Mentions that she's done this on at least 2 other occasions. Kate confirms Ian was already isolated and friendless before CC2. The Jomas don't like Dad/Nathan Barnett. They called him a weirdo in front of Kate and Michael. The Jomas were mad at William Haynes for his edgy post-fight speech at CC2. Anisa elected herself to have a speech at the CC2 gala, and her speech began with the words verbatim, "When I gifted Ian boxing." Anisa had a massive crush on one of Ian's sparring partners, not sure I caught his name, I think it was Gabe, and she hardly paid attention to most of Ian's training, except when he was sparring with Gabe. Anisa told Michael and Kate that she used to tell her mom she would marry a millionaire. Ian was apparently upset by this when he found out. Anisa told Kate that Ian had dated a single mom before Anisa, but never had S with her. Ethan is paying Michael and Kate each $5K to make up for the promise bonus they never got from CC2, and after CC2, Michael reached out to Ian and Anisa to ask them to be his personal guarantors, or otherwise to help out his dream project to open up his own gym. Anisa blew him off and replied, "In no world can we help you." Kate says she's an activist against forced child marriage, as she was also forced to be a child bride when she was little. She once asked Anisa to help spread her message and was left on red. Ian fought with 10-ounce gloves, as pro boxers usually do, which do a lot more damage, while others rather wore heavier gloves like 16-ounce. Kate calls out Anisa and asks her to take down the video of her and Michael boxing from her social media because she's damaging their brand. Anna tweets out, "iDubbbz said he felt genuinely afraid for his life and safety because Sam Hyde trolled him, but thought people sending skulls to Ethan's house was comical." And Breezy says, "Anisa's wife can't seem to understand how stupid he is." And Anna replies, "I'm watching the interview right now, and it's so insane. I haven't physically recoiled at things I've heard like that in a minute." As of now, Anisa hasn't directly addressed anything, but she did tweet out "Love Diners," posting this picture of her food, and Froki replies, "Your silence means something, Anisa." Flubby replies, "Did you have to tell Ian he was hungry before he could eat?" Adam says, "Holy fuck, she went to Dennys and posted it." Boo Hockey replies, "But do you love diners more than humiliating your husband publicly?" And it ends off with each tweeting out, "Ethan Klein donates $5K to Coach Mike and Kate." It's the same amount that they were supposed to receive as a bonus from Ian and Anisa, but it never got. Attaching this clip.
I want to say here that I, the capitalist, will once again be ponying up for the right cause. It is not right that he stiffed you guys. I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000 for the bonus that you never got.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Because he should have never fucked you guys.
That's insane.
It's my pleasure to do it. I'm going to send you guys that money. You should have got more than it from him, frankly, but
shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko and Salsaud. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.